Hi, Busted Muffin. If you're still there, Busted Muffin, where are you at? Nope, they're gone. I'm just gonna take a couple moments. Made some notes. I wrote a letter today. It's a new moon in what? Snorterton? Tucker. He has been snoring in the background of my videos for almost 8 years. My sweet little nugget of love and affection. He's such a cute little freaking man. The spirit of an animal. They teach me how to be more human. Animals teach me how to be more human. Because they're animals. We're animals. So maybe they're teaching me how to be more natural in my animalistic state. Going towards the kind and loving. And less of the territory, I'm going to shred your freaking face off, tear it apart kind of way. You know? We all got free will, right? We get to choose how we want to show up in the world every day. We want to be positive or negative. My hair's kind of bugging me. I almost want to wear my Angry Birds hat. That game kept me company for a lot of years. Angry Birds. I don't play it anymore, but I remember when that timeline ended. I played for like 10 years. Cuz I always start before these my little quirks, my fascinations, I should say. I start them before they become mainstream, and then the main like flashes like everyone, oh, this is great, and then like other stuff I don't give a shit about. Like I never care. Like Candy Crush, it's no different. It's the same. It's like somebody comes up with an idea of like, all you're doing is making threesies and foursies, and that's it. That's all people are doing. And but if you do it with candy, it's different than other little icons. World's getting crazy. Having a cup of coffee. I'm just kind of enjoying. It snowed a little bit over this morning at some time. There was no clouds in the sky. I was looking at stars when I was doing. Artie and I were doing a walk around number 1 at 5:30 this morning. Sleep's been weird for me. It's mostly just rest. I dream though, so my spirit is going out, looking for answers to questions from higher dimensions. That's what I believe the dream world is. Looking at things from a less dense perspective, because when you're down in it, it's kind of hard to see what's ahead. So sometimes you got to rise above situations in life. Right now, I'm trying to put all my energy into, I'm ready for our forever home. I'm ready to settle down. I'm tired of living for other people, and I'm ready to live for me. I'm ready to drop out of society. Yeah. Come visit Taos, though. I'm not ready to drop out. I'm always good to down to meet. I'll meet you down at the park, and I'll sit and have a cup of coffee. We can talk about how you feel about things too. So I just got this email I want to talk about a little bit. Just came out. God, I already going off on so many tangents. People are like, where's all the money? Where does all the money go? And I encourage folks to look in your own community. And it's real simple to do. It's not real hard to do. You go into a search engine and you ask things like budget for inmate vetting in the state in which you live. Whoops, I hit on a link and I didn't mean to. And I just lost it. Okay, I think I found it. Where did it go? Shit. Did I get a screenshot? Maybe I got a screenshot. Nope, confounded. Not in the mood right now, Lauren. I do like you. Here it is. Yay! Tenacity wins again. Okay, so I live in New Mexico, and people want to know where all the money goes to. Well, the people that benefit, this is the thing, is when people benefit from the system, they're not gonna usually they're not gonna bite the hand that feeds them. I'm a rarity. I will. You feed me shit and put liver in my milkshake, I'm gonna spit it out and tell you it's gross. And so usually people just be like, I'm just collecting a paycheck. I'm gonna collect a paycheck as long as I can because I got kids that got to go to college, and they got everybody has to be entertained, and so all this stuff costs money, and then we got to go out to eat because everyone's lazy and they don't want to cook, and so it's just all these people are turning into blobs, and but they benefit from being a part of the system, and what happens is the people that benefit. When they outweigh the people that don't, and they don't longer serve the people that they're supposed to serve, right? They become gluttons. People, when they get too much, it ain't good. That's why it's important to discipline yourself and work hard sometimes so you appreciate your downtime, not be a lazy blob and then think, remember that time I freaking chopped that wood that one time? Resting on those laurels. Anyway, so this is as of December 31st, 2020, and this is I looked at it on the search engine. The number of prisoners under the jurisdiction of New Mexico correctional authorities was 5,500. Locate 5,500. That is like the number of people that live in Taos, New Mexico, the town I live. That's not a lot of people. That's a small. I've been to concerts where they've had more population than that. I mean, like that. Whoa. Okay, 50. That's not a lot. So located in 7 states. Prisons and held in custody of private prisons or local jails, because that's what they do. Is everybody want to get everybody their buddy a job, and it's just real easy. All you got to do is cage people. It gets better. Where's all the money go, Marge? Marge, where's it all go? So, the state operated facilities had a staff of 4,048 people. So that's closer to an employee for every inmate, which isn't a lot, which is a low number as far as high for employees, low for inmates as far as the criminal activity that transpires in this state on a daily basis of all kinds. From all kinds of different people. And it doesn't matter their ethnicity. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. It makes no difference who they go home and sleep with and do weird, chase sensations. None of that stuff matters. What matters? 448 employees with a budget. You guys ready for the budget? To cage 5,500 people, which is a low number again, for an employee number of 4,048, which is a lot of employees for very little prisoners, 324 million, 177,500. That's where all the money goes. Correction, putting people in cages. We've been profiting all people, and there's a lot of people out there, bad people. There's a lot of people out. My neighbor's a suck ass, and well, he's not in jail, and he needs to be. So that tells me there's an imbalance in the system, and I'm just here to help. That's all. I'm just here to help. I got solutions for these. I'm not just complaining about this. I have solutions. Heck, I have 7 years of personal direct contact of what it's like to witness the jail. I used to take AA meetings to freaking the Potawatomi County Jail for 7 years, and they told me a lot of stuff, inside scoop about New Mexico and Texas, because that's where these girls were from. In Mexico, Mexico. I get the, I've been, and then I start paying attention. I'm like, oh, it's all money laundering. It's all money laundering. Hi, baby girl. It's all money laundering, my love. Is you hot in your bitch? Should I turn on the fan, my love nugget? It's all, everything's money laundering. National security's an oxymoron. It's really money laundering. Everything's war's money laundering. Like, look at all the junkies and out. Oops, sorry, baby. Look around at all the junkies. You could thank our armed forces for freaking guarding the freaking opioid, the poppy fields in Afghanistan for a number of years. It's all profit. You make people sad, and then here's the pill to make yourself feel better. But that thing is that thing takes your spirit. Or give them the drink that makes them feel better. Or let them watch the stupid sport athlete show that makes them feel, whatever stimulates them, makes them feel better. You know what makes me feel better? Doing things for other people. That makes me feel better. Living a life of service. That makes me feel better. I got an email today because they were trying to make Taos all the place that, oh, come far and wide to Taos, New Mexico. Come eat your green and red shit. I mean, all this stuff, it's like stuff that mattered and was significant, like that has sustained people that don't like to do much for generations. Come watch the remnants of that. Come look at our People's Zoo. Come visit the Pueblo where you can actually pay admission and watch how poor people live. Instead of giving people the resources and the powers that they need to, teach the young people how to make their own dwelling, like in the olden days. Stuff that matters. Because people aren't so self-sufficient, and that's putting on a burden of people that are. People that the support staff, it's putting a heavy weight on people that don't know how to do jack shit for themselves. They're a burden in society. I don't care if they have all the money in the world to pay for their goods and services. Like, if you can't support the way that you live, you shouldn't be living that way. It's not just me, it's universal. Wow, huh, baby girl? She said, yes it is. Don't be weird. Yes it is. Don't be weird. So, they hired people. It's so funny. I get these emails and then I sit here and I read them. I already responded. I get this email. I said, I'm going to talk about this on my live right now. It'll make their butt pucker a little bit. Oh no! It's her! They know who I am in this town. I mean, yeah. They know where they know who I am in a lot of places. They probably have a better idea of who I am than I do. Oh no, it's her. Yeah, it's Marge. Hi. Our encounter is contingent on how you treat me. So be cool to me and I'll be cool to you. Hey ho. So this is what, so it's that there's people that are mad because there's like the division, it's everywhere. The division of have-nots is so much greater than the haves, and people that have lived here their whole lives. And the thing of it is this happens everywhere. You know why places turn to shit is because people forget where they come from. They always if I ever make it, I'm gonna come back and do good, and then they forget because they get distracted by the demons and living for themselves. Oh, I would, but I gotta buy a Lamborghini. I would, but I gotta, go to this place that, I don't really care about, but I signed a contract, so somebody told me that I no longer have control over my life, that I got to be where they want me to be when they want me to be there, so I can serve some God that doesn't have anything good to do with good orderly direction. And then, after the sun goes down, the weird stuff starts happening. They start doing, butt stuff and stuff like that, at these parts, just to sustain the lifestyle that people want to be a part of so bad. God has protected me from that lifestyle my whole entire life. I've been in a commercial before. I wonder where the VHS for that is. My grandma had a real estate office in Atascadero, and she did a commercial. And I remember, like, me and this other little boy, he lived like 2 houses down from where my grandma lived. We're about the same age. And the guy that did the video, he's like, okay, go down this hill, this incline. It was a steep incline. It was in Atascadero. So a lot of like, shale, like gravel, like flat gravel, slippery stuff, right? So they're like, go down here and then climb up the hill and then like hold hands skipping up, and that was, I mean, and I did it, and he went off to do other like significant things, See, that's the thing, is they know who's going to play along and they know who's not, and I wasn't ever going to play their stupid reindeer games. So that's why I know when groups and organizations aren't really up to snuff, because they won't invite me, Like, I'm always willing to see what groups are about. They don't invite me. I like to be invited and I like to be recommended. That's why my channel will never be huge, because I'm supposed to be recommended, and to be recommended, you gotta be in some kind of congruence with me. So anyway, I got this email. So they hired this group of people to come from like all over. They're not locals, but they read a book, and somebody, with a piece of paper that said that they were qualified to speak on such things somewhere, said, if you say the right things, then we'll make you qualified, and then you can go these small towns and then, go around. And they don't, I mean, how many, they went around supposedly to certain businesses in town to ask the businesses to collect data, to get their data points, to see like what these local businesses want, how they want to see Taos, how it's going to benefit. Freaking locals, Taurons everywhere. The planet is full of Taurons, but Taurons don't want to recognize. Oh yeah, I can understand. They suck. We got those in my town. You are one of those. Stop. With their big obnoxious trucks, with their campers and their freaking just, hot. That's why I can't help but blame the locals that own businesses for driving up the prices. You live in a place where there's it's like every place I ever lived, the price was contingent on the mood and on who's setting the price, as far as I'm concerned, and I always been gouged. That's why I learned how to do so much shit, because I'm like, why should I pay so much for shit that I can do myself? The only thing I do pay for now, and I could do it myself, is maintenance on the Suburban. Like they gotta do the rear oil main seal. And I don't want to drop the transmission, so I will give someone else money to do that for me. So anyway, I don't want to hear this song. So all these people are employed to frickin' make these logos and write these emails. But you know what? I asked people in the local community, like at places that really have to do it, like local auto shops, local grocery stores, local laundromats, all these places that really have to deal with Taurons. These people at this tourism, they didn't go to those places. They went to the places with the people that have the money. And people with money generally don't have good ideas. They have money. And in this day and age, a lot of people that have their money, it's because somebody else gave them their money. It's not because that they were so steadfast and earn. It's because somebody died and left it to them. It's been a long time. I'm not impressed with freaking tech. I never have been. And people are talking about intelligence artificial. It's another freaking toy. It's another something else to keep people from doing shit that matters. And there's no place for it in my world, and I will not engage. It's stupid. It's a lazy man's tool. It's a I don't need something else to come up with ideas and thoughts for me. I can come up with my own. And people that can't need shit like that and need shit like this. Tourism Revisited. So on the 27th of March, the forthcoming Taos Destination Steward Plan, the DSP employs a steward. Yeah, they get paid. Locals get paid like $12 an hour, $13 an hour to work in fast food and restaurants and stuff like that, plus tips. And when people that are out there living their best life, they don't tip so good because they got to spend money on bullshit, creature comforts, stuff they see on Tiki-Taki Shopee and shit like that. More stuff that don't matter. So the employer stewardship lends to harmonize visitors' needs with the well-being of the local community, businesses, and natural environment. They want people to come here. It's so funny. Tell me if this makes sense. Predominantly, everything that pays for shit like roads clearing and stuff like that, it's by the Taos Ski Valley. The Taos Ski Valley. They pay for everything. So all the rich people that go from here to here to here, the people that profit from the little people breaking their backs, they work so hard. They got so many employees to do the back-breaking work for them that they can go to this ski lodge, and when they're done to there, they can go up to Vail. And when they're done there, hey, why don't we go watch some movies and ski? We can head over to Cannes and France, and watch movies and ski, and perpetuate this whole system of nonsense. Hey, I'm just having fun. But the people that support these communities, we're like, dude, we're not fucking having fun. And a lot of people are indignant and self-important and don't you know who I am? And ain't no local ain't going to want to put up with that kind of shit. Or it's worse. I worked for 3.5 years. I worked at a pretty popular Mexican restaurant, Chevy's, in Redding, California. It's Friday, Saturday nights, pretty much from Memorial Day to Labor Day. It was pretty freaking swamp. I mean, and then it was on a pretty main street where they had cool April nights and stuff like that, and so I had to put up with a lot of people that weren't from around there, you know what I mean? Like, people don't care because those people that have this not service for all but service for self, like, they let their kids use rice for confetti and stuff, like weird stuff. And human beings are really, a lot of them are really trite and mundane, and will just to appease other human beings to keep them satisfied, they'll let them do gross things. And this is more stuff that's coming out. More stuff. My feeds have been so all over the place. Like, I keep getting stuff. Okay, that graffiti building. Okay, whatever. Not interested. And then I get all this stuff with that. Those stories about putting it in Corey's butt have been going around for years. When I was like a long time, I'm from Cal. I guess maybe it's a little closer because I don't know, because people just talk about stuff. Yeah, so all this stuff I've been talking about, and yeah, it's more about a control thing. Dudes will do dudes just to be like, you are my bitch. And dudes will be like, I'll be your bitch. Just let me, have that car and treat other people like they're mine. And we won't tell anybody I'm yours, please. And then one day, spilt the beans. And that one day is now. And dude, that guy's been a scumbag the whole time. The only time it's like he gets quiet. I mean, people, they don't stop being, they just get dormant and tired. You know, they ruin people's lives and then they go on like nothing happened. And then get to have really good life. And too many people have profited from freaking just breaking the spirit of another human being. Breaking spirits. It's gross. I think about what this earth could be if spirits were allowed to thrive. If I live in New Mexico and they just put in their 200th box where you could just throw your kid away if you don't want it. Just drop it in a drop box. My mom was born in 1950 and thrown away in an orphanage back then. And look at the system that is promoted, perpetuated. Look at all the people that get a paycheck for a kid getting dropped in a drop box. You get the person that put, the person that built the box, the person that goes and retrieves the box, all the people that go, show up for the kid, the people that change all these people. Instead of giving the mother a safe environment where she can be like educated and just like be able to take care of her baby. People don't take care of things, they throw them away, or they see a lifestyle. Show them a better way to live. Show people better ways to live and they'll live better. Give more people opportunity, they'll take it. And we see the ones who don't. We just give those enough rope to hang themselves. And then, people do. You give too much people power of themselves, they will burn themselves out with it. It's a frequency. It's quantum. So, March 22nd, and then they're going to... So, it's at March 22nd at the Sagebrush Convention Center. Food and beverages. Last time the food was a good spread. I wonder what it will be this time. I like going for the food. And I'm always right there. Mom taught me that when I was a little kid. We'd go to potlucks at the church, and I'd be like, I was always the first one. We bring mashed potatoes. Yeah. So this is so they pay people to put this stuff together, and yet the people that the spectees, they don't get jack shit except to have to deal with freaking Taurons. So inventory of existing conditions, situations analysis report. See, I'm from academia. That's why it's like nonsense, bullshit. Inventory of existing conditions. I'm going to do my interpretation of this, okay? Inventory of existing conditions, situation analysis report, listening and informing strategy. I had to go through a 6-week course, Airman Leadership School, where you learn how to be a leader. And it was so funny how like everybody that goes through the ranks, like senior airman, you gotta go through this course, and then it's just some more bullshit that you gotta check the box, say the right thing, act the right way to get through, just so people can get back to acting their regular normal selves of being frickin' degens. Stakeholder engagement plan. So stakeholders. So there's people investing. Okay, so who do I ask to let the travelers so I can have like a court site here in Taos of my own, and I'll manage it, and my place will it'll encourage freaking a healthy lifestyle, so no drunks. If you have a desire to not drink, come on through. I can help with that. No junkies. You got a desire to live your life different? Come on through. We'll talk about stuff. I got a lot of years with a lot of experience on how to do that. I was reading the Daily Reflections today. I haven't read it in a long, long time. A spiritual experience can be the realization that a life which once seemed empty and devoid of meaning is now joyous and full. In my life today, daily prayer and meditation, coupled with living a good, clean life, has brought about an inner peace and feeling of belonging which was missing when I was a luscious drunk. So, people want to come, but my place, let's see how much people care about other people and endorse and support my place. Because my place will have a place where people can, your shit breaks down, and instead of having to park at Walmart, overnight, because now they don't want you there, and they have people to tap on the window to ask you to leave. You know, they got so take up some of this $324 million and all the budgets that people got for freaking to hire people to make freaking graphics and emails and shit like that for people that, you know, the stockholder, when that's fucking bullshit. Develop tourism sentiment surveys. I mean, they just put so many words. It's all word salad. They put so many words in to say not much of jack shit. Because the locals here don't give a shit about your graphs. They give a shit that they lived there their whole lives, and they're freaking cold in the winter still. And yet the CEO of the electric co-op, where stockholders get a check, not the stock. It's all about the reindeer game. It's all about being in the right club, and you got to be the right bro and act this way. The brotherhood fucking suck my dick, man. It's never done me no good. So I don't give a shit about no brotherhood or no sisterhood either, because a lot of those people do weird stuff too. I just ain't about the club, any kind of club. So any club that, any organization group, they're all self-serving. They all have their own agendas, and if it's more for themselves than other people, it's got no place in my life. So that was the inventory of existing conditions. On-site validation. Validate findings of desktop research. Resident and business tourism sentiment surveys deployed. I did their little survey. Participatory visioning and planning. Visioning and planning workshops, one-on-one interviews, report of workshops, and outcomes. It's like, I've seen this stuff my whole life, because I used to be the poor kid. We used to just and the shit that society has put mom through, that's why I try to take such good care of her now, because society put her through so much. She would show up and just have to pay for the food with food stamps. I have a letter from my doctor, because I was a weird autistic kid, you know, and I had a hypoglycemia. I think they've always been, I think it might say in my permanent record, you know, she was my history or something, because I don't know, but we had this doctor, because mom only got 50. We got a note from the doctor asking the state, the people that worked for the state that gave out food stamps, if mom could have like an extra $10 so I could get food that was better suited, because it was more expensive to not eat food that was shit, and it costs more, and it was better for me if I didn't eat like processed foods. It's better for everybody. So I think she ended up getting like $55 a month for food stamps to feed me and my brother and her. She went out with, my brother and I went out without a lot of meals, because we always had to buy bus tickets. So she had to divvy up and budget to buy us, because that was her part, you know. But growing up around my dad would have been a much more costly to my spirit, so we sacrificed a lot. And so growing up, I see where people get paid to say we care, and they get their direct deposit, and they're never in any hurry to help anybody. You know, DMV, county, state, you know, place you get freaking food, all that. Those people, they're just so important. They're just in no kind of hurry to help nobody. And yet technology gets, you know, more predominant, and, you know, and people can't get what they need. After it was a couple years ago, I had a food stamp appointment for me and mom, and they called me 15 minutes early on a number that was like, could have been a robocall, so I didn't want to answer it, because I was waiting for this, you know, like it wouldn't be nothing for the IT department to be like Taos County, you know, but they don't do, you know. And then so I call back, and I'm trying to get back. The lady didn't leave her extension. I still have 15 minutes, and then probably 15 minutes, however much is allotted for my appointment next, right? But you can't get back through to her, you know. And then I get a card for food stamps, and then a letter saying that there's nothing on it, because I didn't get my appointment. And I'm just like, you people fucking don't want to help people. But how many people? You got the person that freaking, oh, I got an email, print this plastic card up for that. That person gets paid, and then they get to put it in an envelope. Maybe someone else puts in an envelope. That person gets paid. And then you got the person that puts it in the mail, and then the mail person comes to take it, and then they get paid. So look at all the people get paid for a little plastic card that I don't even get to fucking use because somebody was couldn't even be on time or provide information that I need to know to do my part. I'm so tired of freaking covering my ass for idiots. And there's more and more idiots in position of power. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit about the freaking interview with the tiny men. Listen to the tiny men talk. I'd fucking go run. I gotta go clean out the freaking litter box. I'd rather go freaking scoop shit than give a shit about anything that's going on over there because there's too much shit here. Like all the money there's. Look at this. And then they take a picture. They take picture. But you know, we care about. It's like you care about the local community. Come out. Let's go for a walk. And let's walk vigorously enough that your heart rate, like your heart is a muscle and it needs to work. And like any other muscle in your body, eyes, you know, if you don't work it, brain, tissue, all these muscles, hearts, you know, if you don't then they get soft and squishy, and then they don't receive and they don't generate cells proper, and they just kind of give up. And that's why humans don't live as long as they used to live. There's at one time human beings, you know, people of this earth. I don't even hardly like the word human beings because I look around a lot of places and I see a lot of things and beings, but I don't recognize them to be human beings. Because I think human beings, I was always taught that they care about each other, and I see a lot of other things that only care about themselves, and I don't recognize. I look at them as non-NPCs, aliens, freaking call whatever you want. They're a-holes, you know. Saw more people that are in my way to freaking do decent shit on this planet. Anybody in the talkie room? Hi, Miss J. Where are you? If you're around still, I'd like to know where other people are from. Is what I'd like to know. Mom's still sleeping, of course. I like doing these morning talks because I got a lot of stimuli in the morning. People hate me. Like, people that are not morning people, like, if I don't have something to get up and go do, they're just like, ah. And I'm a kind of get up and go kind of person. It comes from my traumatic childhood. Mom would wake us up and we got to go. And cars packed and grab the favorite things. So I've been a minimalist for a long time. You know. Other people have, you know why I think it's important to tell my freaking stories of my horrific childhood? Is because so many other people have had shitty, horrific childhoods, and people aren't allowed to talk about it because people don't want to hear about bad stuff. And so you got all these people that have had all these terrible, awful things that have caused so much hurt and so much pain. And that, you know, these people go on, and then they still see these hurtful, painful acts going on in other people's lives, and there's never even any justice. And then there's more people that aren't allowed to talk about it and just keep it to yourself, and nobody wants to hear that. And then so you got all these hurt people. And what do hurt people do? I act out when I'm hurt. Cats act out when they're hurt. Dogs act out. All animals of this earth, usually, they'll act out in some kind of way, even if that's some kind of acting in. Whether they internalize it or externalize it, there is acting going on. The whole world is acting. I don't act. Sometimes I will not act. Sometimes I will. I know when to keep my mouth closed. There's been times when I don't. But I assure you, every time I have not listened to that voice that says don't say that thing, every time I don't use my discernment, every time I don't listen to my higher power, I always there's always a consequence. Like, it's always about teaching me that I'm supposed to be obedient and not just run my mouth and say all the things. Because there's a lot of times that I'll say things and I'll be like, fuck, here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes the consequence. I would like to live in a position and have a place in my life where it doesn't matter. Nothing anybody out there can affect my life, and I don't live that way right now. And then once I get that, as I'm getting that, I want to help other people so they can set their life up so they can live that way, right? I'm looking for the people that are disciplined, because that tells me a lot. In some kind of way. I don't care. I don't care where the discipline lies. Just someplace where, like what my newest discipline is, I'm not going to eat pork today. I love bacon. I love sausage. I think I really like sage is what it is. And I can do other stuff. I'm not a vegetarian. It's high protein. I require a lot of protein. And so, I am not. I can't. That's not me. I mean, maybe at some point, I can go periods without eating meat. I like it. So, I'm cutting turkey. Not turkey. Pork out. Because I feel like I like it so much that it's important that if I like something that much that isn't good for me, that what is in me that desires the thing that isn't good for me, Like, it should always matter more to me, my self-care. And doing things just because they taste good or feel good or remind me of a better time and place is not a frequency that anybody ever needs to stay in. Rose quartz. So, I call today's talk Quantum, the no place space. Know your place. I know my place is no place. I got no place in this world. I've come to a place where I accept that. There's no place for me. There's no one place. I'm kind of all over the place. So I know that my place is no place. And when you have no place, that puts you in the no place space, as I understand it. The no place space, other people, I've heard them talk about it, and I'm like, oh, they're talking about the no place space. Quantum, dark matter, all the things that people try to define with their rational thought? Or is it imposed logic? It ain't, the no place space is all the creative. It's vibrational, it's frequency. I can see it. Maybe it's because I have frickin' got electrocuted when I had frickin' 3-4 near-death experiences before I was 12 years, 8, not 10 years old. Very young. I seen the stars, you've seen the stars, you're seeing in frequency. And for every frequency, there's stories. That's why stories, whether it's books or movies or stories and songs, stories, it's a frequency. That frequency that makes your heart beat, that your heart beats in, your vibrational frequency. Right? That draws people to certain things based on storylines they're supposed to live out and sort through and decide if they want to keep living that way or living this way. And, it's a constant circle up, circle down, ego, spirit, personal choices every day. What are people doing with it, their time here? The no place space. I can see that. It's like it's when everything's rainbows and metallic. It's all that. It's like sell it fat. It's so many things to no place space. Understand? Once you there's so many people doing mushrooms. I would never lick a frog, shit like that. That ain't for me. I mean, I don't need to go off in a desert and freaking trip out, because I tripped out in the woods in Northern California when I was a kid. I mean, people go to great lengths and spend a lot of resources to achieve awarenesses, that just shows me how wasteful they are. And wasteful people are very unaware. The more that, and so like the more people are looking for shit like that, you know. Not my crowd. I have a very small crowd. My crowd's the no place space. Talk about photo nomad. Here's a story. This is a good story. The Photo Nomad. This book is by this guy, the dog, and this guy lets him go around and talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know. Anyway, so where I got this book, this is such a freaking funny. When I lived in Omaha, I worked at a place, David Douglas Duncan. $29.95, and this is back in 2013. So this is 10 years ago. That's got in the world of photography. I've been taking pictures since I was a little girl. I have the first picture I probably ever took. It's up here somewhere. I showed it recent. And it's of my mom and my brother. It's off-centered. I was 2 years old. Anyways, on the beach in Morro Bay, right down from Morro Rock. Like looking the other opposite direction from it. And I always looked at pictures as like snapshots in time, and it can take people back, or, I always looked at things kind of different. Anyway, I quit Creighton University because I just felt dirty working for the dirty Jesuits. So I quit a really cush plus job. And so that put me on the job search. I had been looking for a job because Christopher Harrison, top 3 worst 4 or 5. I don't know. I've had a lot of shit bosses. Control freak, tiny man, complex. I'm gonna put this broad in her place. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I just dropped a rock. It's okay. It's okay. Do not be sad. I love you the most, baby. Prettiness. And so. But I could still collect unemployment because I was like in my 30s. I had never in my life ever collected unemployment. And so I was eligible to play. And it was like, I was enough to pay the house payment, and I had money in savings, and I was okay for a few months. But I don't do good with idle minds and idle hands. It's important that I stay busy and productive and things like that. I don't do good when I don't. And so I was getting unemployment, and to do this, there's this job search place in Omaha that I'd use, and all you had to do is like prove that you applied for 3 jobs a week, and then you get your direct reply or whatever like that. Well, in order to initiate it, you had to go sit down with somebody at the unemployment office because they might as well get paid because you don't. More of the system that's stupid. And so I sit down with this woman, and she begins to ask me. She starts, she sits there, and we start to talk, and things don't when people get around me, things go out of the ordinary because I'm so out of the ordinary. And she starts talking, and I didn't bring up photography or anything like that, and I've been taking, and I've had my crappy where I've always just taken pictures, and I just kind of, the camera breaks have lines in it, doesn't matter. I remember that I can tell like what period on face, but like what picture, because with the line in it and stuff like that, they're just signifiers to me of timelines. And then this lady just starts talking about this guy. And she had this, and she reaches down and she grabs this book out of this bag, and she's like, "I want you to have it." And I was like, "All right." And I'm not a reader. I don't read. I don't want to. I don't want my interpretations to be tainted. And I flipped through it. He's taking a lot of really cool pictures. And I'm like, that's what I do. This is what I do. This is no different than I do. Only somebody someplace else sees the worth in this man, and provides him the means to go all over the world and capture it through his eyes, because he's so important and so significant. And all these people that are allowed to take the real good shots, it's because they're somebody's son or nephew, or people are get the good shots, they're because they're allowed to go along and get along. I got it. This is when I went to Crete. I've taken some. This is my warp time photos. I was flightline support. I was right there. Thank goodness I wasn't telephone systems. Anyway, so I'm like, this is no. So, but it was kind of funny because it really did inspire me. That really did set forth my trajectory, because I just gotten out of a relationship, and so that's what I would do. Mom would go. Mom was still mom, in the sense that she's always mom, but mom's evolved into a lot of things because of her head injury. And so this is back when mom was participating more, and I could just call her and be like, "Hey mom, let the dog," she'd let the dogs out of him by herself for a long time, but then I'd start calling her. But I could take off for a couple. I could go for a drive, and I'd go out in the freaking the hill, the all over Nebraska, Iowa, just practicing, just practicing, just being with the land, and hearing the stories and absorbing all the stories from just the land, because the land has always spoke to me, because people lie. The land doesn't. The land tells me through whistles in the trees. The land tells me through bird chirps, a bird like because I know when I'm on track a lot of times, because universe will tell me whenever a bird flies directly over whatever situation I am, that is a yes. And if something happens that gives me some sort of feeling of discord, that would be a no. And then I can always have muscle testing that my yes is my heels and my no's are my toes. Ask, what, should I do whatever, whatever that thing is. If it's a yes, I go back on my heels. If it's a no, I go on my toes. Other people should try this stuff. It's not just me. And test it. Don't just try it, test it. So, paychecks for bad behavior. I can't remember what that was going off of, because I'll think about stuff and teach people this. What I see, people keep going around talking about purpose. What's their purpose? People have more than one purpose. People should have lots and lots and lots of. There should be no end to people's purpose in life, as I understand it. People don't think that they can do anything. They can do lots of things. God, it's only 9:13 in the morning. It's 9:30, so it's 9. My birthday's in 2 months. I'm gonna have people want to come to Taos and visit and see what New Mexico is about. That would be a good time to do it. Early spring. It'll be April 13th, probably Saturday. It'll be after, because I don't think I'm gonna do much on my birthday. I think the energy is going to be so potent, I might just have to stay within, and but we'll see. Who knows what the day? That's 2 months, it's who knows what tomorrow brings, let alone then. I just don't really want to plan on doing much. I'll take it, but play it by ear. Anyway, one of my purposes, aside from my many purposes, is that I am here to teach people how to be themselves. And I have been myself ever since I was a little girl, even when. See, because what people usually do is they'll change themselves to fit in. And I learned from a long time ago that I wouldn't want to do that. And I would usually do that thing that the people didn't, that would make them not want to hang out with me. I do that and then go play in the woods. you know? I never really cared about freaking. Yeah, I do. There's some people I care about what they think about me. People that I recognize that have done respectable things. To Be an Optimist by Greenville Kaiser. Mom has had some good shit, The stuff that I wish I would have. Now that I think about it, I wish that there was more that I would have kept. Here's Mom when. Oh, shit. We all have a story. And some people, I think the best stories are people that started out in the worst places that have that still, have some sort of positive. That's little Marge. I've been doing my fit, like, look, my tongue sticks out. I still do that. I have a line on my tongue because people think I'm so rude, but I don't say most of the things that I think. This is fun. I had a mullet back then. I thought I was a little freak of nature. I wanted to be a little boy. I didn't want to be a little girl because terrible things happen to little girls. You know what? Bad things happen to little boys too. What I vowed to do is grow up and teach people how to keep themselves safe and not rely on other people to keep themselves safe. And the more that you think scary is in here, the more you're going to reflect the scary out there. So just learn the things that you need to do to be confident. And don't put and a big predominant factor in keeping people safe is not them putting themselves in harm's way in situations that they find exciting but are dangerous. The world is a much different place than it used to be. It's not that place that it used to be, And I've always known it to be a dark place. Oh my gosh. I've told a lot of these stories. On my YouTube here, and then I have the pictures to verify it. That's what's funny to me. This cracks me up. I think it's funny that on YouTube, on social media everywhere, it's like all these nacho neurotypical people are talking about their little peculiar idiosyncrasies and their quirks and things like that. And I was like, dude, I was doing that shit in the 70s, 80s. I had a speak and spell. I love that thing. And because one of the big things that I'm good at is pattern recognition. And things would be cool until I started recognizing their pattern, and everything has a pattern. It's really quite annoying. Like even my shuffle on my U-tunes, it has a pattern, and shuffle there's no random. There's a pattern to everything. Even a no pattern, there's a pattern. It's just it's like TV shows with their elements. With their elements. Farmington, New Mexico? Where's that? See, Mom had a whole life that I didn't even know about. What was I talking about, though? Like the train of thought derail. Oh, learning, teaching people how to be themselves. There's so many people that they're just they got an idea who they are, but they don't want to make people upset. So they like you know. There were times that I would fit in to accommodate, but it just gets tiresome to act like to act. Acting is tiresome, and I never got paid for all these people that it's like, oh, all this terrible shit happened to me. I lived in this toxic environment. I lived in that. Oh, that's how not. Well, you got enough money to freaking live comfortably for your rest of your life. Because look at all the people that freaking people did weird shit to them, and all that they are is the product of weird shit happening to them. So how nice for you that you got a nice long life, you know, that you were tortured but you got the payoff. How nice for you. You think that other people would, you know, want to divvy that out a little bit. They don't. They just want to make sure that they're okay. We're going to see. We already seen who the freaking wicked are. 3 kinds of courage. There's the courage that nerves you in starting the climb, the mount of success rising sheer, and when you slip back, there's the courage sublime that keeps you from shedding a tear. These 2 kinds of courage, I give you my word, are worthy of tribute, but then you'll not reach the summit unless you've the 3rd, the courage to try again. Responsibilities gravitate to the person who can shoulder them. Power flows to the man who knows how. Begin to begin is half the work. Let half still remain. Again, begin this, and thou wilt have finished. How many people don't even start? That's what is just like people just don't want to do nothing. They put more energy into not doing jack squat than to just making something better. It's just bizarre to me. I don't understand this world we live in, but I've been running my mouth for an hour, so I think I'm going to get going. If you've been there hanging out, Connecticut. Very cool. I got Carl's up there northeast. He's up in Boston. Wonder what it's like there. It's cold here. The snow, that whatever snow we got will melt off, though. It'll be gone. I'm surprised I didn't hear from my buddy this morning. He must have got a ride from somebody else. Yep, there's always stuff to do, huh, baby girl? You're so pretty. This is turn on my TV and let's talk about a story. I was this close to almost upgrading and adding a subscription, a $2 subscription to my Hulu. I'm going back and forth. Because I want to watch Star Wars again, the originals, and I can watch it at this place. Ever since that movie came out, I was 3 years old when that movie came out, you know, and I was a young, impressionable girl with do right, do the right thing. The Force, you're going to use it to do right or do wrong. You know, I always acted like my higher power's right there, like, Marge, you really want to say that? And oftentimes it's like, F yeah, I do. Okay, here goes a consequence. All right. Damn. Then next time I come to this situation, Marge, remember last time what happened? You said that thing and what happened? Yeah. You want to say that thing again? No. Okay, there you go. You learned. Congratulations. Lesson learned. And sometimes I got to make the same mistakes over and over and then learn the lesson. I mean, sometimes I've been beat my own self down by making the same. I used to do that in a relationship, because I didn't get a lot of affection when I was a young kid from either parent or any place. And so, pretty, yeah, and then you put a pretty face on it, get a pretty girl with a pretty face, and then I didn't care how they treated me. I just do whatever they wanted, stuff like that. And oftentimes I started figuring out that people wanted me, to do stuff that wasn't in my best interest, and then I started paying attention everywhere I look of like who actually really wanted me to do stuff that was for my best interest, or did it serve them, and I really started taking notice of this every place in my life, and I really don't have much use for the one-sided, and I'll stick to myself as a direct result. So anyway, I think that's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a